Hello, hello, hello. Nobody's in here yet. So. All right, we got one person. Hello, one person. Two people. All right, now we're starting to get some traction. Four. Okay, here we go. See, if the numbers keep climbing like this, we'll have a million before the end of the night. Five. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing tonight? Extensive Gardens. Hello. Are you one of my Great Britain friends? I don't know if I said that. I'm an American, so I don't know if I terminology that right. I want to say Extensive has commented before, and I feel like he's across the pond from me here in Florida. But yes, okay, good deal. Yeah, you guys have extensive gardens. To use extensive, you have a extensive community of UK folks, don't you? On YouTube, there's a lot of you. I like how tiny your push mowers are. They're the cutest little things. There's I think maybe Steve the Gardener is his channel name. Don't quote me on that. I know Steve the Gardener is one I'm subscribed to. I think there's another one called the Oasis, something Oasis. That might be who I'm thinking of. But they've got one of those Honda Izzies. They're little tiny things. Grassy Gamer. Hello, Grassy Gamer. How are you doing tonight? But yeah, it's always a trip seeing you guys mow lawns. Doing it live must be important. Slauson, how you doing, man? I'm just trying to. I think the first Saturday of every month, I'm gonna just try and do a live stream. I really don't have anything to say. I was just gonna see if I'm a tumor. It's not a tumor. How you doing, man? I just wanted to jump on here in case anybody had questions or something to do the first of every month. All right, Darren's here. Darren just fixed a blend door on his F-150, and he found $5. He took out the it wasn't the center dash, but it's whatever the center would be. Tony, how you doing? Good to see you. He took out what the center dash would be of his F-150. Grassology, hey, how you doing, man? And he found $5. And then inside of the blend door, which the blend door is what changes your AC hot and cold kind of a thing. Inside of it, he found some of the old owner's mail and then a roll of toilet paper too. Like your Echo Visit video. Thanks, man. That facility was pretty neat. They had so you didn't really get a sense of it because like the way we heard the presenter was through these little tiny things that kind of wrapped around our ears. So there was no way for us to record what he was saying, but he was telling us about all these safety and, well, not so much safety, but like quality assurance steps where there were sensors that could tell if the human bolted in the piece or not right. Darren, no problem, man. And if they didn't bolt the piece in right, the system failed out the thing and they couldn't go any further. All these different steps that were backed up by robots. Had it? Oh no, you still have it. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm real excited. I'm pointing, well, you can't see, I'm pointing to it right here. This is just, I have to, now, I purchased that Bobcat. So that's what's in this trailer. So the big dog is kind of just sitting here, but this snapper is what I've been using. And I can't wait to fire up that 770. They're sending some Echo Red Armor. So I'm waiting for that Red Armor 3 years ago. Grassology, did you comment on the video? Because I feel like somebody said they had it. Am I busy for winter? No, not at all. This is my first season. I didn't even hit double-digit regular weekly mowings. So, like right now, the last thing I did it was the video where I was clearing out those debris from the ditch. That was the last real job I had. That was the beginning of December. And then I went out and did some... I do have it, didn't comment. Okay, someone else said they had it for 3 years, so I wasn't sure that was you. But no, I'm not busy for winter, which is kind of nice. We're very fortunate that we don't rely on this income, to pay any kind of bills. Basically, everything it is extra. My wife's got a very nice position, so it's not anything that we're stressing about either. Glad you went with Bobcat. That or Hustler is my favorite. I momentarily thought about Hustler, but the guy who sells Hustler out here, who's also the one who sells Bobcat, we're talking about the stand-on mower for those who aren't aware or who didn't catch the comment. He's not happy with Hustler, so he's not going to sell it next year. So I didn't want to, buy that. How do you fit an enclosed trailer in the garage? Well, it's a tiny enclosed trailer, so and I'll pan the camera around, but it's a 5x10 trailer, and that means, at least with this manufacturer, that the inside is 5 feet high as well. Now, when you factor in the tires, it's just under 7 feet, which means it just clears the door. So you'll have to pardon the mess, but we're going to see if we can get a better view. So you can see it's kind of level with the top of the garage door, and we'll pan down. And then what we'll also do is try and, give you a side-by-side. So I'm 5'9". So if I'm inside of this, I'm like this, kind of a thing. What's the fate of the Alpha? Well, I'm going to hang on to it, I think. It's, hold on, let me get you situated again. So the payment on this is only 60-something a month, I think. I did a 48-month 0% thing through Sheffield. So what I was thinking was, it's only $60 a month. That's a couple of mows. If the Bobcat goes down, that $60 a month is worth the peace of mind of knowing that I've got a backup mower that won't be as good, won't be as quick, but my numbers are so small that it won't ruin me if I've got to mow with this for a couple days until the other thing gets fixed. So I think I'm just going to hang on to it. But like I said, there's only room for one of the mowers in this, so I have to just kind of park this right in front. And when I hook this up, which I haven't had to do because things are slowing down now, I've got to back that out, and it's a whole process now. But why Alpha and not Toro? Did you like it more? I think the Alpha was less. So when I bought this Big Dog Alpha, my criteria was I wanted the most affordable mower that I could get that had a fabricated deck. And I want to say, don't quote me because it's been since February when I looked at buying them, and then March when I did. I wanted to say the Toro ones at this price point had stamped decks. And I think, like I said, don't quote me, but I think that would have been one of the reasons. I believe we have a Toro dealer out here, so I probably would have considered them. So I think that's why I didn't go Toro, because I think I remember seeing that it had a stamped deck. And I still don't know a ton about zero turns other than what I know about this, but one of the things I was reading that was kind of consistent was that a lot of folks said, well, if you are going to get a residential grade, at least get a fabricated deck. Do you have a pickup truck? No, I have. I'm kind of like the UK guys. I drive around in a van. I've got a 2015 Dodge Grand Caravan, and thankfully it has a V6. Yeah, I use the minivan. It's got a V6 in it that can tow 3,500, and so I've made real careful not to come anywhere near that. This trailer is 800 pounds. My new mower is almost that. This was 500 and something. The Bobcat's 700 and something. So that's around 1,600. And then, a couple cans of gasoline, all my stick equipment, the blower. So I'm still under 2,000 pounds on that. So I don't think I'm taxing the engine or anything. I would love a pickup truck, but I just don't have the income or I don't really need it. The most annoying thing about using the van is that it's cloth interior. So like on the days that I do mow, because during the summer I only mowed a couple days a week, I have to put like plastic garbage bags over the seats. So I sweat a ton. So it would just be like super nasty. So really all I need is like a seat cover. But I say that I would love a truck with a vinyl interior, like a work truck where I didn't have to worry about that. So maybe 2 years, a year or two. I don't know. We'll see. Oh man, now we've caught up on the conversation and into the awkward silence sits in. Oh jeez. So So, what did you guys do today? Oh, thank God Darren said something. 2007 Dodge Charger 6-cylinder to tow a 20-foot enclosed. Isn't a Dodge Charger's the car, right? A 20-foot enclosed trailer. My goodness. So that would have had to have 2 axles, right? 20 feet? That's very long. Oh, man. Why did you start a business in lawn care? I went through, over the course of 3 or 4 years, I went through a whole bunch of little, I call them 2-week projects, things that I said, well, I could do this and I could start this business. And like I'd spend 2 weeks researching it and dumping $100 or $200 into it. And I was like, oh, this isn't going anywhere. And just, it would just fizzle out. But lawn care was finally one of those things where I said, well, wait a minute. I think I could do this. Have any good results from the mail out you did? No, and you didn't miss that video. I'm waiting for more data. Like I want to do another mail out. I didn't get anything from that. So Slauson's asking me. I do like outdoor work, extensive gardens. Yeah. So that certainly helps. I like the satisfaction of going up to a dirty yard and cleaning it up, especially like overgrown stuff. That's my favorite, and that's why a lot of my videos are that. But Slauson asked about a direct mail campaign I did to like 80-something houses. And in the video I said, if you believe if the statistics online can be trusted, then it's, like a less than a 1% or 1% return on investment, or that's not the word I used. 1% would response rate. That's what it is, a 1% response rate. So I sent out 84 letters or something. So I was like, well, 3/4 of a person is going to call me. But nothing came of that. But it is one of the neighborhoods that I want to do. 36-inch zero-turn, 36-inch Bobcat in the trailer. So I want really small yards. And there's 3 neighborhoods within. One is within 4 minutes. One is within 5 minutes. And then the other one is within 7 or 8 minutes. But all the houses have those tiny yards. And that's the kind I want. So I'm going to keep mailing them. I'm getting together a fall flyer for, I don't know if I'm going to do all of them, because one of them has 100 and something and one of them has the 80. Excuse me, I'm drinking a carbonated beverage, so it's, excuse me, getting me a little burpy. Texas veteran, hey Kevin, how you doing? Warren, when you look back at this, hold on, Warren Douglas, sorry, that one I missed. When you look back at your days at work and see what you got to, yeah. So, and that's what I don't know if you were in there for that, Warren, but that's why I like those super overgrown things. Buying any new equipment for 2018, the Bobcat was the biggest thing. Thankfully, through the Echo User Advisory Group, I'm getting to try out this 770, which is the upgrade to my backpack blower. And they also sent a Pro attachment system, which is really similar to what I've been using. That's why I picked it. So I've got, if you look in my videos, I've got a Poolin Pro attachment system. And so now I've got an Echo one that I'll be able to compare. And I've ordered they sent me the base and the articulating hedge trimmer attachment. So I didn't have to pay anything for those, thankfully. And I purchased a 3-foot extension, a string trimmer, a Pro Torque string trimmer attachment, and a straight shaft edger attachment that I'll be able to use. Grassology, I have a 2000 Honda Civic and want to start in my development of 91 homes. I think you could do that. What kind of equipment? If you start off with push mower, you could definitely fit a push mower in the back of the... Hold on, I'm trying to find the messages. They're going a little too fast. I have a 2000 Honda Civic. That would be a good place to start too in your own development, because you won't have to drive very far and you won't have to worry about, if you do get a small trailer, you won't have to be scared about pulling it on the open road. You'll like the Echo better, Darren? I'm sure I will. It feels built. I haven't started any of it up because I'm waiting for them to send me the red armor. I don't want to put my Walmart Pure Guard stuff, the oil in there. I'm afraid it'll bust it up. Get any steel trimmer. I might try a steel trimmer one day. Tim, when I started this, I just did it with the least expensive stuff possible. So that's why I started with Poolin Pro. and it's still been working throughout this whole first season, so I haven't felt a need to upgrade. But I might try a still trimmer one day just to see what the difference is, if any. Extensive, yep, Echo did send equipment, but you wouldn't want to use, wouldn't you want to use a brand you like? I mean, yeah, but here's the thing is that when I grew up as like, and most of my experience is not professional, it was through when I was a teenager, doing the lawn work was my responsibility on our property. And I wanted to say Echo was the stuff that you have. So yeah, them sending me equipment, that's great. But I mean, I don't necessarily dislike their brand or like another one. If I had to say which one do I like the most, it'd probably be Pool and Pro, because it's an affordable product and it's residential grade, but it has not let me down one time this entire season. The only problems I've had with it was some vapor lock before I even knew what vapor lock was. So I was like, and if there's anybody watching who doesn't know what it is, it's basically when the engine gets so hot that gasoline turns into vapor and it kind of backs up into the carburetor and the carburetor just can't move it. So you've got to crack the gas tank and some of the vapor escapes. But I was just cranking and it wouldn't start. That's the only problem I've ever had with that Poulan this whole season. Now, I can tell that if I keep using it, probably 2 or 3 seasons in, it's going to have issues. But to just get started, I'm a huge fan of Poulan Pro and would hands down recommend them if budget was the number one thing you were looking at. Slauson is curious. He's thinking of doing a mail out next season and targeting specific subdivisions. And that's all I see. So maybe you've got another question coming. Oh, you were curious. He was curious about my mail thing. I think direct mail is one of those things you can't do it just once and expect that stuff is going to work out. You got to keep doing it. Grassology, they did send this stuff to me for free. So the user advisory group, which is what I'm a part of through Echo, it's not just about Echo products. It's a group of folks who use all kind of different products, and basically Echo has brought them together to try and further the business. So there's 2 parts of it. The user advisory group, which is the lawn care, landscaping, grounds maintenance, the arborists, the professionals, and then there's echomeansbusiness.com. So Echo Means Business is supposed to be this community where everybody can come together and give advice and get advice. If you think about the sites like Lawn Site, is that what the most popular one is, or Facebook groups? There's a lot of negativity and just not great stuff on there. So there's 2 components, but me being in the Echo User Advisory group, yeah, they did send some stuff out for me to try out and give my feedback on. But they're also expecting me to do stuff like produce content and generate some business ideas for you guys. So it's not just me taking. It's me giving back as well to this that Echo Means Business forum, or the community around Echo Means Business, which is basically you guys. Darren's still FS76 is 20 years old. Good night. That's that's impressive. That's a good testament. You got to do a video on that one. Grassology has Echo stuff and a Toro 22-inch mower. Yeah, I don't even know if you need a trailer, Grassology. You said you've got a Civic. That could probably fit a 22-inch. If those seats fold down. I don't know which model Civic you have. Tim, are you asking me if I would have gotten a chainsaw? Or, Tim, you're saying you would have gotten a chainsaw? I am afraid of chainsaws. So first of all, I don't want to be in a tree high enough to need to use a chainsaw. And I'm also very, very frightened of just the possibility for things going wrong with the chainsaw. So what I do have is a pole pruner with Poulan Pro. I'll show that to you. One of the things I wanted to do was get a little more organized. So I went through and this is all my kind of backup gear now that I've got the Echo stuff. But you can see at the very top, this thing right here, this pole pruner, that I do have and I love using that. But at least at this point, if there's any tree work that needs to be done that I can't do with that pole pruner, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to get up on a real tall ladder or anything like that. Would you get it? Okay. Grassology, you don't have to have a business to be part of a UAG. You can either be a business owner or you can be a pro user, which means you are an employee of a business, or you are like you're employed by a golf course, or maybe you're the city lawn care guy, so you work for a city and all you do is a lawn care. Those are the two different categories of folks they have in UAG. The cheaper Slauson says the cheaper equipment can get you by till an upgrade. I started with a Ryobi until I was able to get my Echo trimmer. Absolutely. I'm never going to be one of those guys that says you have to have commercial equipment starting out. I think it makes things a lot easier. Don't get me wrong. And there's been a few quirks with this that I've tried to catalog that you should be able to see in some of my videos that if I had a commercial a commercial mower, I wouldn't have had to deal with. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of using what you have to get started. Let's see. Extensive Gardens, Landscape Juice, and ARB are professional forums that still sponsors. Okay, I didn't know where you were going with Landscape Juice. Maybe you were pitching us a new energy drink targeted exclusively to lawn care operators. When the job just has to be done, drink Landscape Juice. Darren still was his dad's. That's awesome that he was able to pass that down to you and you still got it going on. The Bobcat Guy. How you doing, Bobcat Guy? Warren Douglas. Have a good day, sir. Enjoy your night. He's heading out. Darren's going to make a video on the Still FS76. Perfect. Grassology says, can you be a homeowner to join? I don't believe so at this point. If you go to echomeansbusiness.com, there's actually a section that says, I don't know if it says user advisory group. It should say user advisory group. And you should be able to see all the requirements for participation there. I want to say homeowners, because that would basically open it up to everybody in the world, right? So I don't think homeowners can join. Extensive Gardens is laughing. Ha 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 ha. That must have been about the Landscape Juice. And Grassology. You're welcome. Grassology, have you started doing anything yet? I know you said you were wanting to start in your own development. I guess the most recent thing that's happened was today. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Florida Turf Pros or watch his channel. He's got some really good content. He does a lot of business advice, marketing advice. Grassology's had 3 lawns for years. Okay, cool. So it shouldn't be hard for you to get, start expanding because you've already got that base. And it's not like you're brand new and, you're real nervous and you've got all that stuff taken care of already. So that's good. But Florida Turf Pros just put out a video today about those A-frame signs, like the sandwich ones that fold open. And he was saying that when he first got started, he used that a lot as like kind of threw it out next to the trailer, like almost as like a safety cone. But it had, some kind of personalized message to that neighborhood, like we're honored to serve this neighborhood, and some real quick information like the price and the phone number. So I went ahead and ordered one of those because, went to a buildasign.com, I think, and got the frame, 2 signs for the frame, and then I also got 2 more little signs so I can basically, if I'm in a different neighborhood, I can slap a different neighborhood name on there, and it looks a little more personal than just, seeing this trailer. And the other thing is that hopefully it'll get folks out of their autopilot, because, if you're driving down the road and you just see a lawn care trailer, you might not even, it's just another lawn guy. But if you have to kind of drive around the middle of the road because there's a sign there and it's got your own neighborhood subdivision name in it, hopefully that's something that'll try and snap you out of that. I don't know if they call it beta subconscious or whatever, but make them pay a little bit more attention to it. Grassology has the best lawn in his neighborhood, and it's his only hobby. Well, good. You got a lot of time for it. Extensive asks. Sorry, the chat thing only lasts for a couple of seconds, and the camera's on a tripod, so it's shaking around because I'm tapping around. What advice would you give to someone starting up a lawn care business? Oh, that's the dreaded open-ended question that everybody asks. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. One of the things we covered, don't be afraid or ashamed to use residential equipment to start out. If that's the level of commitment you want and what you can afford. So if you've only got X number of dollars and that only affords residential grade stuff, still go for it. I would say don't wait until you save up 10 times that amount to get commercial stuff, because you do not need commercial stuff to do this work. It'll make it a ton easier. It'll make you look better because you've got all the nice shiny equipment, but you don't need it to start out. So that's one thing. Don't be afraid of or ashamed of residential equipment if that's what you want. And probably the other thing would be just go ahead and start, which is echoed by a lot of folks. You know, I think Top Notch Lawn Care is probably the most popular lawn guy. And he said that a couple of times in his videos, that he looks back and he says, man, if I just would have started 5, 10, however many years sooner, how much further ahead would I be now? So that would be the other. So if I had to just pick two, which is good because I can't think of any more, so I'm only going to pick two, that would be the other one. Is if you want to do it, just find a way to go ahead and get it started now. You don't have to have a grand marketing plan. You don't have to have, I would say probably business cards would be a minimum for your level of professionalism. I personally started with, which is getting off on a tangent, but I started with liability insurance. I felt that was something that was very important to me because I set up a sole proprietorship. It's relatively, well, I was going to say it's a lot cheaper than an LLC here in Florida, but I mean, you're talking about a sole proprietorship is $50 for 4 or 5 years. An LLC is, depending on what all you get, 160 to 200 a year. 160 to 200 when you start, and then I think it's like 160 a year. So is it a lot cheaper? And that depends on what you think a lot. Over the course of that 5 years, maybe $1,000. But anyway, since I was a sole proprietorship, and because I was just starting out, I really wanted general liability insurance to show that I was a real somebody. I wasn't just somebody who's doing this, out of the back of a pickup truck on weekends, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not what I want to look for. So, like I said, that was a tangent, and that's a separate video on if you need insurance or not. But because of those two things, hey, Dennis, this is Dennis from Growth here. What's going on, Dennis? Let's see. Hustle and bust your butt is KP Landscaping's equipment opinion when he's starting out. Yes, that. I will say this now that I've actually thought about it, and I would say this is probably even more important in my personal opinion than the other two. If you have an interest in doing this business, do it part-time first, because I can tell you that, like I said, I'm fortunate enough that my wife pays all the bills. So there is absolutely no pressure to generate income from this beyond, paying for the equipment. But once my insurance is paid, my mortgage is paid, beyond that, it doesn't really matter to me. Obviously, I'd like to make more. But the point is, if you have a desire to do this, do it part-time first with your current part-time or full-time job, whatever you have. Because I can tell you that this first season, there's not, nobody knows who I am, so there's not a lot of work. If I relied on this and I would have left some other job, I would have been so panic-stricken and stressed out all the time because this business wouldn't have been producing what I needed. So if you look at, and I say research, it was me just Googling articles, but if you look at that kind of research and you look at how long it takes for a lawn care business to get off the ground, of course it's going to be different for everyone. But generally, you're going to need a couple of years before you've got a stable business. So that would probably be my number one piece of advice if you're just starting out. Because I can attest to how relaxed I was, even though the phone wasn't ringing. And that's because I didn't need this. But I can tell you, if I needed this to pay bills, and I went through that first season, which I'm still going through, but went through it all over again, it would have just been the worst thing in the world, the absolute worst thing in the world. So I keep getting off on tangents. I'm copying Dennis. I'm in my garage making a video. That's yeah. That's another good thing. Grassology, if you can do it part time and have a full time job that covers benefits, because benefits cost so much money that if you look at the numbers, like if you were to quit a full time job or a part time job that offered benefits, and you looked at replacing those benefits with your lawn care income, it's just staggering the amount of money that it takes to do that. So yeah, doing it part time while you've got benefits somewhere else, that makes a ton of sense. Darren cut grass in his town for 12 years. He used a dumpster found weed whacker and an $8 two-stroke Toro push mower. And that was his biggest payday. He had a neighbor give him his old Still FS40 weed whacker. He felt like a pro once he upgraded to the Still. Dennis, I do have a website. It's one of those free Wix ones. So I didn't put any money into it. So that means I can't say go to coppercreekcuts.com because it's not coppercreekcuts.com. It's like coppercreekcuts.wixsite.com/coppercreekcuts. So I, the only reason I have it is so if somebody types in lawn care, my city, Florida, that it'll show me. And I think I've done a real good job of that because when I first started, it was, a couple weeks after you make your website, it's propagated in the search engines and everything. So I was like 2 or 3 pages back, actually 3 or 4 pages back. But now, and I asked somebody who doesn't live anywhere near me to do a search because I want to make sure it's not just because it's my business that it's showing me this, it's my IP address. But I show up in like the number 2 spot on the search engine, and in Google Maps, I show up as number 1 because I'm in a very rural I'm in a very, I promise all I'm drinking is some carbonated water. It's not an adult beverage. I just can't speak. I live in a very rural area, and I feel like a lot of the folks who've been doing this have been doing it for a while, and they may not put as much emphasis on technology as folks in the city or younger folks might. So there's dozens of people out here that do lawn care. There is less than a handful that have websites and good reviews and, do all that kind of stuff. So that's a story on the website. It's still a website. Well done. Is it lawn care juice? No, extensive gardens. Nothing will ever compare to lawn care juices. Maybe that's why it's got me so jittery and I can't talk. All right. We might be wrapping it up soon. Half an hour is kind of the timeline I'm setting for this stuff. Anybody have any last questions before I hop off for the night? Any videos that you want to see done? I will say this too. Echo is also sending a lot of samples of Black Diamond string trimmer line that I'm going to give out to you guys. UPS has delayed my package, so I'm really TO'd. But once that gets here, I'll post a video of that. The other thing was through echomeansbusiness.com, which was the user forum for the Echo User Advisory Group, the community forum where everybody can get together. Last year they did kind of a giveaway contest thing, and you could get prizes every day, every week, every month. I got a ton of little goodies through there. So when the string trimmer stuff comes in and when that comes in, I'm going to do a ton of giveaways. There'll be some t-shirts. I think there's 4 t-shirts. Should be 2 hats. My wife might claim one of the hats, so I can't say I'll give away both of them. But then a ton of little tchotchkes like squishies in the shape of chainsaws, and some chainsaw bottle opener keychains, and what else? Some Echo pens. So we're going to be giving away a whole bunch of mess soon to you guys, and we'll make it real easy. We're not going to make a 17-part entry process. So where do I okay, there we go. All right, Extensive Gardens is heading out. See ya, Extensive. Go patent that landscape juice idea. Darren Wilfix is, yeah, Florida's good. I like Northeast Florida. We get some seasonal changes. Grass Monkey, Dennis is asking, what would you say has been the biggest thing you've done so far in your business? As far as like my greatest business milestone, like I can't believe I landed this account, or the greatest thing I did on the business side that's helping me out? I'm not sure which one you mean. If you don't answer, I'll have to come up with answers for both. So I really want you to clarify. Slauson wants to know if I use yard books. Yes. Yard books was another one of those things. That's another great tip for somebody starting out. Makes you look so much more professional than handwritten stuff. Again, not that there's anything wrong with handwritten stuff. If that's all you feel comfortable with, go for it. But being able to bill folks electronically, saying, no, I can take a credit card, that kind of stuff I found has really, really legitimized my business, even though there's not a ton of time and seniority in it. Is it okay for the UK to enter the contest too? I don't know. I'll have to see. The keychains, I might save the keychains for you guys because the keychains are thin enough that it counts as a non-machinable letter. So to send it in the U.S. is only like $1 something. An international letter is about $1.15. So I might do that for you UK folks. Just save any of the keychains I get for you. But the hat, the pens might, yeah, I might be able to send. I'm going to spend $6 in postage to send you a 25-cent pen. I don't think maybe a t-shirt, because a t-shirt would collapse down pretty flat. So I'll have to see. So for right now, I'm not sure, but the keychain I'd be able to do. I can't wait to get to the point that I can do giveaways. Now, you can do giveaways whenever you want. It doesn't have to be anything special. Grass Monkey Dennis is asking about, so overall for the business. So the most important thing or the best thing I did overall for the business? That's a really good question. That's one of those ones you like to have a couple of weeks to prepare for, not a couple of seconds. I don't know. I think I'm only saying this because I just said it and it's the freshest thing on my mind. But partnering, well, I say partnering with, using yard books right off of the bat, I think that was pretty important. If I didn't have that, the scheduling that it gives, the ability to bill credit cards. If I couldn't bill credit cards, then I'd rely on checks and cash. And if I did that, I would not be as forthcoming about, no, we need a credit card on file before we start. I've gone through just a couple, thankfully, 3 or 4 scenarios where I got burned, and very quickly it's reinforced my vocabulary and speech to, well, when can you start? I'll send you an invoice, and as soon as you get a credit card on file, we can schedule, be very firm about it. And that all feeds back to going on to yard books and using it. So it's a little bit of a recycled answer, but that's the best you're going to get at 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday after I've been drinking landscape juice. Good live stream. Pig on Helium. Do you plan on getting a larger trailer for both mowers? No, because the only reason I would need both mowers is if I had 2 people. All of my jobs, I'm trying very hard to make sure they're close to home. So like if the Bobcat broke down, I wouldn't be a town over and lose 4 hours, going back to get this thing. If anything did happen to the Bobcat, it'd probably be maybe 1 hour of downtime total. Because it'd be 10 minutes from wherever I'm at to the Bobcat dealer, and then 10 minutes back here, and then 10 minutes back to the thing. So, but I don't think it's going to be worth me getting along. I really don't have... I've got about 2.5 feet before it hits the wall, and another 2.5 feet before it hits the garage door. So there's not too much. So this is a 5x10, maybe a 5x12 would fit both, but then it'd be really cramped. So I don't think I'm going to get a bigger one for that. I would be the winner every month. What do you mean? If I had a... Oh, Darren's saying if he had a giveaway, I would be the winner every month because I stalk his channel. Do you alternate each mower depending on job size? So I'll be honest with you, Pig. I haven't used this Bobcat on any jobs yet because this is my first season, so I've got very few customers, and my everything slowed down before I bought that. So those, me going out and trying stuff, that was actually in a vacant lot in our neighborhood that I had mowed once before, so that was a client of mine, but it wasn't a regular account. And then the sidewalk that you see is just an abandoned development somewhere. So that's a really long way of saying I haven't actually used the Bobcat enough to have a plan for it. But they're both 36-inch standers, so they're both 36-inch mowers. So it's not like I'm going to use one for this one for that one. I think what I might end up doing I put a mulch kit. You can see it right here. I put a mulch kit on this Big Dog Alpha, and it's been working really well in my own yard. We don't have a lot of call for leaf cleanups here, partly because, and I think Pig, you might have asked this question. I'll respond to it on another video, but in Northeast Florida, we've got lots of oak trees, lots of pine trees. The oak trees drop their leaves for like months and months, so it's not really like up north where you've got where you've got a 1 month of fall cleanup before the snow. You got to hurry up and clean all these. It's just something that happens for months, so it's not really a big call for leaf cleanups because it happens so long. And I lost my train of thought. So, but I put a mulch kit on that, so maybe during the fall this will be my primary mower, and then the Bobcat will just be for the mowing. Slauson says that a couple of his customers went with him because he could take credit cards through yard books. I think it's a big deal. I feel like people don't even expect it, because when I say, no, I don't fertilize grassology. I do have my fertilizer's license. I can put any kind of fertilizer anywhere on turf and ornamental beds. And the only kind of stuff I can put down that kills things is on ornamental beds. So I can't do pesticide or herbicide on turf, which would be the biggest thing. But yes, going back to Slauson taking credit cards. Dennis is heading out. Have a good one, Dennis. Being able to take credit cards, like I'll tell people, well, I can send you an invoice and you can pay it electronically with your credit or debit card. And they'll be, what? Really? Like, it's just not something that a lot of folks around here offer. So I think that is something nice. It's real easy for me too, because it goes right into the bank account. You don't have to worry about running to the bank. But I've got some time to kill. I take my daughter to pre-K every day and pick her up from pre-K, so I could just add a bank trip 5 days a week if I needed to. But it's nice just not having to worry about it. All right, I promised my wife she would have 30 minutes and not streaming any TV because it kills the internet connection. Now we're going on 42 minutes. So, what's the best grass to mow? I love St. Augustine. If you get a yard that's no weeds and just nice thick St. Augustine, it's like cutting butter, man. It's one of my neighbors. He cuts his lawn all the time, but his mower, something was wrong with it, so I got to mow his for one time while it was down, and he doesn't have any weeds, and it needed to be cut bad. It was probably 6.5 or 7 inches high, and it was the most satisfying thing, because he likes it cut high too, which is what you're supposed to do for St. Augustine. So that was one of the most satisfying things for me, was mowing that lush grass down to it. It was still nice and lush, but it was so tall that you're getting the real satisfying sight of all this grass getting discharged. And I think I might have too much time on my hands to think this much about my greatest lawn care experience. Is Yard Book only for business owners? I mean, it's free, so anybody can create an account. I don't know what use a homeowner would have for it, aside from, or do you mean like you've got to have a legitimate business? I mean, you could sign up with john.smith@gmail.com if that's what you're asking for, and they don't require proof of insurance. I'm not sure if that's what you meant. All right, Darren's heading out. Have a good one, buddy. Slauson's heading out. All right, everybody's heading out. I might take that as a cue. We'll wrap it up right before 45 minutes so my wife doesn't get mad at me. Yeah, well, I think I might in the future. Pig says I should do these more often. I might. Right now, I'm just going to try and do the first Saturday of every month. I think in a couple of months we'll maybe get some more traction, and because like you saw, if you guys aren't asking me questions, I really don't come on here with an agenda. So I appreciate the feedback. All right, we're gonna wrap it up before 45 minutes, like I said, so my wife doesn't yell at me. Thanks so much for everybody being on, and we will talk to you later. Bye.